Hi guys, it's Brad at shockbladder.com. Today I'm going to show you how to service a bladder equipped WP shock with a shock bleeder. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is go ahead and just get the shock bleeder filled up about 2/3 of the way full with oil. So we've got this extra piece. Right now we're just pulling air. We use this extra piece to fill up the machine. Okay, if you want to degas the oil, you just hold your hand on it and get rid of all those bubbles. Okay, now we're just going to take the oil filler off. I already have my WP adapter in this shock, put the shock bleeder on it. So this shock's been serviced, it's been revalved, and doesn't have any oil in it. It's got the bladder in it, and I have my nitrogen hooked up to the bladder. I'm going to put 50 pounds of nitrogen in that bladder to hold it in place. Let's go ahead and do that. So I already have my regulator set at 50. Okay, so that bladder popped out and it's got 50 pounds of nitrogen in it. That's going to hold the bladder in place while we service the shock. So I'm going to turn off the nitrogen. It's sitting there under pressure. We're just going to leave it like that. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is get the shock under vacuum. First pull, I'm just getting it under vacuum. I'm going to push once and get my fill line purged of air. And so I've got 45 pounds of air on my air compressor. And slowly let it go. Okay, the shock's filling up with oil. And you can see the shaft come out. Okay, it's full of oil. I'm going to shut off the air. We're going to go back to vacuum. Shock's coming in. Okay, that shock's under a really good vacuum now, and the bladder hasn't moved because it's full of nitrogen. I got 50 pounds of nitrogen in there. I'm going to go ahead and push oil back into the shock. Okay, the shock is bled and it's done now. So I'm going to go ahead and, this is the final step with any shock. You need to take, but there's one extra step with the bladder. I'm going to take the air line off. So I've shut off my air, I got my vacuum off. So right now if I take the machine off of the shock, oil's going to go everywhere because this thing's under pressure. So we're just going to take that, I took that hose off and I'm going to open it. Okay, so some of the oil's coming back. Okay, that thing's totally vented to the outside right now. So the last step with the bladder shock is, so right now that bladder's overinflated. There's no pressure coming from the outside. So what we want to do, I got the nitrogen off. I'm going to go ahead and let the nitrogen out. You could unscrew this and push the Schrader valve with your finger. So I'm just letting all the pressure out. Okay, now my bladder's got no pressure on it. This has no pressure on it. Everything is equalized here. The outside world and the bladder, everything's at rest, and the oil's nice and bled. So I can go ahead and take the okay, I'm going to go ahead and remove the shock bleeder from the shock now. Just loosen that. A little bit of oil is going to come out, but not much because this thing's completely vented right now. Everything's relaxed. So I shouldn't get much oil coming out of here. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and seal it off. Okay, the last step. So now we've got 50 pounds. Now we've got 150 pounds in there. I'm going to shut this off. I'm going to take my tool off. Okay, so this shock is all bled of air. We've got nitrogen in here. It's ready to use. We're just going to do a check on it. It comes back up nice and smooth. It's all good to go. That's it. Thanks for watching.